Yes, Chef.
With Ryan.
The time of the week where we bring food and a guest into the studio and then we eat together, me and Chef Ryan. How are you this week?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? Well, this looks like a feast on the table. If you haven't already done so, now is the one time of the week where if all throughout the rest of the week you don't turn on video radio, fair enough. Now is the time you want to have it on, especially if you're hungry, because then we're going to make you food jealous on the show right now. So we said that there are foods that Koreans eat because they're tasty and nutritious and are a number one source of collagen, which is apparently the secret to looking young. And we have these foods delivered right to our doorstep at night sometimes. So on today's Yes Chef, we're going to talk about these: chokbal, pig's feet, and takbal, chicken feet. And this, at the moment, is the pig version.
We're talking about feet today.
Woohoo! And I got to say, I am a fan of pig's feet.
These are good.
They look good.
Well, you know, you're taking soy and ginger, you know, and water, and you're boiling these, braising these. Maybe you'll get a little bit of cinnamon in there, some bay leaves, and they're going for 2-3 hours until they're really tender.
So you just put in like the whole foot, do you?
Yeah, kind of the ankle and foot. The feet are usually sold a little cheaper, and then more the ankle is like the more like meal part. You know, there's not a whole lot of meat if you just get a small foot. They're only about $5 if that's all you want. If you just want a snack, you know.
So the foot meat is included in here usually.
Yeah. Usually you get kind of the ankle and the foot together. They're like trotters.
Yes,
you know,
pig's trotters.
Yeah.
So it's a thing in the UK. I've heard it, but people don't commonly actually eat them.
Man, when I was a kid, I remember my grandfather grabbing a pickled pig's feet. You know?
Pickled one?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. What? And I remember it kind of freaking me out when I was really little. I was like, what is that?
So you could see the
Oh,
foot.
totally.
Wow.
Totally. Yeah. And man, but after trying some different things, I'm still not a huge fan of pickled pig's feet. You know? But these are different. I mean, this is braised or boiled for a very long time and gets really nice and tender.
Absolutely. And this is very common for people to eat here in Korea, whereas trotters in the US, it's not that common to eat trotters, right?
No. When I lived down in Brazil, of course, you'll use trotters in famous Brazilian foods like feijoada, and it's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it adds, because there's so much collagen in there that in the cooking process turns into gelatin and then thickens up a stock, and gives it kind of like that silky texture that you'll get, you know?
Which is so good, right?
Awesome.
So delicious. So is this cooked similar to possam, which is the kind of pork belly boiled?
Yes, very similar. I would say the only difference is sometimes the flavors are a little bit stronger here. Often you'll find bosam will be pretty mild.
Yeah, it's just
on the
basically
cinnamon,
the meat,
pretty
right?
mild on the you might see bosam be a little bit more natural sweetness of maybe a pear or an apple in that, whereas this usually brown sugar is added.
I see. Okay, and then 3 hours of boiling, then you slice it up like this, and bingo. And like we said, it's a really popular nighttime snack. Well, they say snack, but it's a meal.
You know, one of my favorite places, you know, are walking through the markets, the alley markets in Korea, and in every single one, there's always 1 or 2 vendors doing chokbal.
Yeah.
And you walk by and you're like, oh, wow, because they've got them all piled up and they'll cut them up, you know, for you as soon as you order them.
Yeah.
And it's not really expensive and it's just a great little snack.
Yeah, and for me, my kind of gateway to this was possam because I loved samgyeopsal, and then I went on to possam, which at the start I was like, oh, it's boiled meat. Do I really want that? But it tastes so good.
Oh, when I first discovered bosam, I ate it every week for about a year. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another dish that is common to order in at home, and they'll give it to you similar to this with like the vegetables, the gakdugi kind of kimchi.
You know, it's almost the same setup. It's just the only thing is you're using the pork belly rather than the trotters.
Yeah. And so then the final step was getting from possam to pig's feet. And at first I was reluctant because I was like, feet, come on. Why are you eating the feet? There's so many other parts we could be eating here. But then
the feet got you.
Yeah, and they taste great. They taste similar, in my opinion at least, to possam. Not like a million miles away.
Man,
Okay, so we're going to go. So
you go first.
Right, here is the possum. This is the pig's feet that's all been sliced up. I think I'll show it a bit later, but there is the bone underneath. But this outside bit, the brown bit, that's the skin, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so
and it's brown because of the soy and the brown sugar in the.
I see. That's what turns it brown. So this is one that you've bought, obviously, in these packs, right? And getting it in the morning is quite difficult. So this is from last night. Right.
I've got a restaurant in my neighborhood, and they're so kind. They're always giving me bones to give to my dog.
Oh.
And yeah, so I stopped by and saw them. I told them about the show today. I'm sure they're watching, and they really hooked us up with a nice set here,
so if you're watching the video radio, you can see this clearly. But on the outside, for those of you not watching the video radio, is the brown skin, right? And is this the area where there's most collagen?
Actually, the joints in between the little bones would probably be the most there.
That's where you're sucking out those kind of gelatinous bits.
Oh yeah.
Is this an ankle piece that I'm holding? Can you tell?
Yep.
Right?
Yes,
so they're a bit meatier in the middle there, as well as the layer of fat and skin on the outside.
When you get the actual foot, it's really just all jelly.
Oh, really?
Which some people love that and some people don't.
I see. Yeah. That's how you can tell the difference. All right. Yeah. So usually my favorite thing is to dip it in the samjang. I'm a massive fan of samjang, which we've got here, which also comes with possum and many other.
Always, yeah. And there's raw garlic slices and sliced chilies to go with it too.
Okay, so the samjang is the chili pepper paste with garlic, is that?
Yeah, garlic and fermented soybean paste and red pepper paste all together.
Oh, you mix in the fermented soybean paste as well.
And usually a little toasted sesame oil too.
I absolutely love this sauce. Okay, so I'm just going to go with the meat just by itself the first time round. I'm probably going to eat this whole box today, so let's give it a try. It looks good to me.
And the big difference I noticed today, I had never really thought about. What do you think?
I've never had it like cold the next day.
Yeah.
It's great. This would be great in like a sandwich or something, in a baguette, like a hard crusty roll or something.
The guys at the restaurant, they actually asked me that I would reheat it in the morning, but we just don't have a range here. And I couldn't put it in the microwave.
That's against your principles.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. So
what's great about this is, tuck in, by the way, Ryan, is the meaty part. That's a little bit dry, but then from the fatty layer with the skin on it, then that just makes up for it totally, and it goes so well together. And with the samjang, that sauce is just so delicious. There's nothing like samjang in the West that I can think of, right? That's unique.
That's what I was going to say. Like, there in China, there's a version very similar to this, with really, really strong flavors of cinnamon, star anise, sugar, soy, but it doesn't have the accompaniments like this.
The sauces, really.
So the difference between kind of the Korean style and that style would be that we add more flavor here after, and they've got it all packed in more to just the trotter, and you just chew on that.
Oh, fantastic!
I'm gonna go with the fermented shrimp sauce. These are like tiny shrimp. It's very salty, and I just love it.
If you can look in the sauce, perhaps you can still see the prawns as well in there, and that makes it really salty. So usually what I do is dip it into that, and then the samjang, and then put it in the lettuce as well, and then you wrap it up with some raw garlic. Maybe we'll do that next up, and you just put as many things as you can into it. Is it good?
It's so good.
It is really good. This is this a chain that you go to, Ryan, or is it like a one-off independent place? Because this tastes amazing.
It's independent. It's just in my little neighborhood.
Fantastic. And they've also got another sauce here, which I don't usually see, I must say. It looks like kiwi. Is it kiwi? It's like it's got black seeds in there, and let me give it a sip.
A little bit, and lots of garlic and vinegar.
I've never seen that.
And a little sugar, I think, too.
That looks good indeed.
It's kind of a unique thing that they do there.
So if we do it now the traditional way, so we'll get a lettuce each, a leaf of lettuce each. Do you want to go for the bigger one here?
Yeah, hook me up.
All right, and then so this is the traditional Korean sam, right? That you can use with many meats like bulgogi. I don't know what else can you put in here. The possum that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, the only issue with these pig's feet is when they got cold, they stick to each other.
Oh my god,
right?
It's so because
we'll grab it.
It's not usually that hard to pick up, is it?
No, because when it's just been cooked, it's all really moist. Now it's a bit stuck together. I'll tell you what, I'm going to use my hands to
Go for it.
Oh. Okay, I got a bit of skin there.
Let me see if I can help you out.
Thank you
here.
to our writer for giving us some wet tissues in here. So I put in the meat. Then my favourite is the raw garlic. Like sometimes it can be super spicy, but still when you've got a good chunk of meat in there, and that's really good. So the raw garlic, I tip that in the samjang. I think that's quite common for Korean people to do. And then put that in there. What have we got over there? That's my favourite. What is this? Is this the muchim?
That's it. Yeah.
The muchim is like the
kind of like a daikon radish, the giant Korean radish.
Yeah.
And then made kind of like a kimchi. But you can do it pretty quick.
And you slice it into these thin kind of strips, these square strips, and it's got such a crunch to it as well. I love it. And I see there's also some spring onion over there, which is nice. A bit of pa, as they say in Korean, the spring onion. Put that into the sam. And then if you like a bit of spice, I guess there's some chili peppers. Why don't we put that in and see how spicy these are? Oh, I've dropped it over there. Here we go. Put that in.
Don't look that hot.
And there is gennip, the perilla seed leaf.
Man, this has got to be one of my favorite things. If I'm at a restaurant and they throw this out, I'm usually really happy. It's the perilla leaf that's then kind of marinated for a long time in soy and a little bit of sugar and garlic.
Yeah, everyone knows that I'm not a fan of that. So you've put that into your leaf as well.
I'm gonna do this because I know you don't like it so much. So yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go for the sam, and I've forgotten to dip it into this. So can I just be rude and dip it in?
It's not rude at all.
The
There's
garlic
no
and
rules.
kiwi. Okay, let's give this a try.
It's a big bite.
It's really spicy.
Happy.
This sauce, the garlic one, is quite spicy.
Some green chili in there.
It's got a kick to it, absolutely.
Hopefully not too much for you. Now, when we get to the chicken feet, though, I think we might be sweating. Yeah.
That is a mouthful. So it's quite romantic sometimes as well. And not romantic, you can just do it to a colleague. To make a sam for like someone sitting next to you is seen as quite thoughtful. Yeah. Like my wife will sometimes do it for me. I'll sometimes do it for her. Show our affection to one another. But like I said, if it's just a work colleague, you could do that as well. I need to chew this, Ryan. Can you tell us just before you eat yours? What are like the benefits of eating jokbal? Is it healthy?
We can definitely high in protein. Definitely there's some collagen there, gelatin. But really, it's something that just looks so good in the market and really gets you excited when you walk by. It reminds me of seeing carnitas in Mexico. They're always in the window of the restaurants you walk by, and it's so enticing that way. And you can usually find a place if you're visiting Korea. You can usually find a place that'll have little samples for you to try.
Oh, nice.
For free and test it out before you buy it. And
do tuck in, by the way, Ryan.
Yeah.
I want to show our listeners the bone that is located here, because sometimes that put me off. When I first saw it, I thought this is cheating because it looks like a full thing of meat, but if you turn it the other way round, that's a massive bone in there, which comes from, I guess, the foot area and the ankle area. And you can chew on that. They leave that there deliberately, I think, to chew on the collagen bits at the top. And if you look, sometimes at the bottom, let me see if I can get a little pig's. Is this a toe or something? It does look like it, doesn't it? Yeah. This, I believe, is one of the toes, right? And you kind of chew on this. And like you said, this is almost all the collagen and the jelly, which girls always tell me is the secret behind their beautiful skin. Like, they eat this and they say it's really good for your skin. I'm not sure how much I believe the collagen that you digest goes to your skin. I don't know if that's been scientifically proven, but still.
Let's just go for it. Let's just go with it.
It just tastes good, right?
Yeah.
That's good enough for all of us here. So yeah, if you don't have pig's feet in your culture that is regularly eaten, even in the West, like I said, we got pig's trotters, but no one really eats them. Don't be put off by the fact that it's a foot. It tastes so good.
Well, and hey, if we're eating bacon, we're eating these other cuts from the animal, we gotta put it all to good use. Don't want to waste anything.
This is true, right? If it's edible and if it tastes good, why not? Why not indeed? Chicken feet are a completely different proposition for me. I'm going to go back on what I just said. Don't eat chicken's feet. We're going to have them in the second half. And like Ryan said earlier, they are really spicy usually, right? They got a kick to them.
Right, they're often called fire chicken feet, you know,
Right.
on the
Puldeokbal.
right.
You can also, I think it's been a trend for a few years now, get the really spicy 매운 족발.
Sure.
Which is just this 족발, but in a really spicy sauce, like to almost blow your head off in some places.
They put the capsicum oil into the braising liquid, and it just, once it gets on your lips, it just never comes off, and it just keeps burning more and more and more. So if you like that sort of thing,
I don't know, my wife and her sister, they absolutely love it. And then usually those places, they give you a big bowl of rice, a plastic glove, and some seaweed, and you make your own little kimbaps or chumokbaps, the fist rice, to kind of balance out the spice, which isn't bad at all.
You got to do something because it's hot. Yeah.
And then the soup that they also provide here is supposed to, I guess, do that as well. This is the 콩나물 soup, which is the bean shoot soup, which is nice and refreshing. We're going to eat some more of this in the song break, and then we'll be back with some chicken feet afterwards. This is Kim Jong-guk with Lovable, 사랑스러워. For part 2 of Yes Chef, Chef Ryan is munching on a toe. Is that nice? It looks like you're enjoying it. What is there to eat, though? Look,
Oh, it's great.
Let me
It's
get
just,
another
I
one.
realized I had this glove on. I was trying to put my headphones back on.
Okay, so this is the toe bit right
Oh,
here.
goodness.
I mean, yeah, even for me who likes chokbal, this toe is a little bit off-putting in what it looks
it's
like.
so good.
It's got a little bone in it as well. That's the toe bone, I suppose, medium with my biological sciences major here. And that is pretty much all collagen. It tastes good.
It's so good.
There's like no meat there, right?
Oh, yeah. And I thought that was weird years ago, but I don't anymore. I'm convinced it's awesome.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'll save that for a special guest that we're going to have in the studio very shortly. We're doing chicken's feet in the second part, right? We've got a load of messages as well to read out. Let me just take a few of these. We've got one from Night Ninja talking about chicken's feet, saying, I was once on a trip around Korea with a friend whose birthday was during the trip. He said because he's Korean, we abide by the tradition of the birthday person buying dinner. So he chose chicken feet, and it was the first time I ever saw that, and I cannot say that I really liked it too much, but I'm all for trying new things, much like us as well, right? And one more here from Fallen Angel in the UK. Pig's trotters. I'm not a fan, but my sisters love them in black vinegar when the boiled eggs are with boiled eggs and ginger. What? Really? This is eaten during the first month after you had your baby. Oh, so much like maybe the seaweed soup in Korea.
That's right, yeah.
You have pig's feet, eggs and ginger. Not sure if anyone knows about this traditional dish. It's supposed to be good for you after childbirth. I know people also boil them in soup as well. Like you were saying, Ryan, the collagen kind of adds it in there, some silkiness and a great taste to the soup. Now chicken feet.
Are you ready?
Ryan, you've admitted that you're not a massive fan.
I don't go out and have these very often. Now that I call them chicken socks.
Chicken socks.
they're the feet without bones.
Okay, so here I think we've
They're a
got
little
both
bit easier.
types, right? We've got on this side, if you're watching the video radio, the chicken's feet with bones, and they do look just like little claws. And then the other side is without bones, which just looks like some kind of meat, and it's all in a kind of reddish marinade, I suppose, or a sauce, right? Yeah. So we've brought in a very special guest, an extra guest today. Isaac's in the studio. Good morning, Isaac. Thank you for coming in. Because you are apparently the queen of chicken feet. That's your new nickname.
Okay, I guess now my listeners are probably going to be like, what?
Yes, absolutely.
No, I'm actually here to take Peter's show. No, I'm
yes,
just kidding.
please do so. But you are a fan of these.
I am a huge fan of them.
Seriously?
Yeah. I have the years that I've lived in Korea, I've had a lot more Korean friends than Korean American or any other race backgrounds. And thanks to them, I mean, just the whole drinking culture here in Korea, thanks to them, of course, we were able to go out a lot. And thanks to them, I got into it because every time we would go somewhere, they would end up, So am I just going to start eating?
So this I was just trying to show it in the camera as well.
Okay.
So this is a good accompaniment to a glass of soju as well, right?
Yeah, the perfect one.
Really?
But there's a lot of different types. Chef?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the ones with the bones, you've got the ones without bones, you've got spicier ones, you've got milder ones.
And you got the one that you were talking about with like a soup.
Yeah, so it's in a sauce. So I have to say it's called 국물 닭발 in Korean, but technically it's just the marinade. It's just like a lot of sauce in there, and then they just constantly boil it for you.
Wow.
In front of you. So they give it to you in a pot, and then you constantly have the burner on so that, you know, you can constantly have it really hot.
Okay.
There's a difference, though, in the texture and the consistency when you eat it.
I'm sure it'd be a lot softer, right?
Yeah. The one that I like, it's a lot softer. And so once you put it in your mouth, like, the bones just start falling.
That sounds lovely, doesn't it? Put it in your mouth and the bones just start falling out. Delicious. So, yeah, for me, I've got to say, the ones with the bones, they kind of freak me out because, look, it's like a little claw.
It's crunchy.
I guess it is a claw because it's a bird, right? So it's like, tickle, tickle.
Didn't your mom tell you not to play with your food?
You're right, Isak. Okay, so do you want to go for...
Okay, well, for
whatever
those of you...
want
Okay,
to go
so for people like Peter who don't necessarily... Okay, I only have... Okay, so if you don't necessarily like the way that it looks, what I like to do, and it's a lot more ladylike
It's a tip.
to eat,
Okay.
is I only have one glove on today, but I'm going to use just my other hand because my other hand is clean.
Okay.
But what you can do is, and I know it might sound really disgusting, but if you just take the feet off.
What do you mean, like the toes?
Yeah, the individual
like
toes.
snap them off?
Yeah,
How is
snap
that
them off.
ladylike? You sound like a gangster. I'm going to snap off its fingers.
No, but see, this is what happens. When you take it off, you leave it in the bowl, and then this is what is left with. It doesn't really look like much anymore.
Oh, you chew the finger, or the toe, I should say, I suppose.
And then you just chew it off.
Wait, the whole thing, and then you spit out the bones? Really? Can I have that plate back, and I'll try it? I'm not a fan, I've got to
this
say.
is so good.
You know what?
Chakanim, this is so good.
Don't they say in Korea as well? It's not meant to be sexist, but this is more like a girl's food. Like it's more popular with girls,
It
right?
is.
And Ryan,
Okay.
you're trying the bit with the bone or without the bone?
Without the bone.
And that's all right. Maybe I should start with that, right?
Yeah, you should try that.
Okay, without the bone. You can tell it's without the bone because it's all floppy and stuff. All right, and
But do beware, even though they say there's not a bone, there could be one or two little pieces in there.
that you're meant to spit out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Don't eat
that
the
is
bones.
really good.
Really? Okay. So while I'm eating this, Ryan, could you also explain how you cook this as well? Do you know the recipe?
Yeah,
or?
usually you'll get some salt over the raw chicken's feet and rub them there for a bit. Let them sit for a little while. Pulls out some of the water. Then rinse all that off. Then boil them for like maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then when they come out of there, you're going to mix up a sauce. And this could be different depending on which style you're making. But definitely, spicy is pretty good with these.
These are pretty hot.
Yeah, this one's got a lot of sesame oil, a lot of sesame seeds. It's a little different than some of the other ones.
Yeah, they are a little bit different.
They're very spicy though. So if you're not
Is
good
this
with,
spicy?
well, not for a Korean, but I think for just a regular Western visitor, I would say maybe that's biasing me.
think
My
if
friends
you-
would find this incredibly spicy.
If you like Mexican food, I think it's not going to be that spicy.
Oh, yeah.
Because most salsas, I feel, are about this heat.
This kind of heat, it does build over time. So
Yeah,
the
that
first
does.
one, it's kind of like, it's not that bad. And then you get to the next one, and sooner or later you're starting to sweat.
Well, like I've just swallowed it now, and now it's the most spicy. And so that's without the feet. It tastes kind of just like, I don't know, like very collagen-y. Like there's not meat in there. So
No,
to
there's
speak,
not
is
meat.
there, right?
So pretty much the reason why girls, I feel, are a lot, they like this a little bit more, it's more popular with the females, is because you're pretty much just eating the marinade in it. It's just so, it's kind of like tteokbokki, like the sauce is what you're eating it for.
That's
of course,
the main event,
And
right?
then, of course, there's the consistency of the chewing.
Yeah.
Just like tteokbokki, with the rice cakes and how the consistency, the chewy consistency.
Yeah.
I feel that with that, it's just the consistency, plus it's spicy, it's sweet, it's, it's salty.
You'll often see these, with the charcoal, like oak charcoal fire at your table, and these are grilling, maybe on a piece of foil.
Yeah.
But it still starts to caramelize.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part, I think, about all of these, is that when you get those little crispy bits where the rice syrup that's added or sugar that's added to the yum yum marinade or the spicy mix, when it caramelizes on there and gets that charcoal flavor, that's awesome.
So you can see there's the burnt bits, the charcoaly bits on here. It tastes okay, but like Isak said, it's not really about the meat or the feet itself, but the flavour of the sauce.
Yeah.
Because, this is just basically a lump of collagen, I assume.
Well, Which is pretty much what you would be getting from the pig's feet, the toe bit. That's the exact consistency that you would get from that.
All right, so it's not too bad. Boneless, I must say. Would you like to try a boneless bit as well, Izek? And I'm going to try and snap off the toes of this little claw. It looks like a baby hand. I feel sorry when it's like this. This, I can see how this is off-putting for someone who's not used to eating feet.
The reason why I kind of like ones that are in the marinade are it's easier to break off with your chopsticks or a fork that you have.
Oh, in the soup.
In the soup there. So what you do is you kind of just have at it with a fork.
Yeah.
And then it just starts getting more marinade on it. And then you can just kind of pick it up and then...
Okay, without having to snap it off.
Yeah, without having to I'm
snapping off the fingers from what looks like a little tiny hand. I feel so cruel, like I can feel the joint coming out. Oh my goodness. And you're right, then if you eat it just like this, it looks almost like, I don't know, something on a stick, like a hot dog or something. So I'm going to try that. So you kind of suck it all off.
So you're going to chew it.
Okay, put the whole thing in my mouth. Okay.
Then you're going to chew it.
Oh man, that's not nice. That's really... I feel horrible. I feel like I'm biting someone's toe, which I am. It's a chicken's toe, right?
Really?
Because inside I can feel the bone is still in there.
Yeah, and you kind of, for your health's sake and your teeth don't break, you're going to have to, try to gnaw around it.
So I would prefer to eat it like a drumstick almost, like to eat around the bone. But then there's like nothing to eat, is there? It's too small.
You have to put it like the whole thing in your mouth so that you can actually
Are there any more socks over here?
There are some socks that have come off. Izak, would you like to go out another foot? So do you eat just the toe bits? Do you not eat the main bit of the foot?
No, you do have to eat the whole thing.
All right, so after you snap off the toes, then the remaining bit is like almost a fist, right?
This is where you get the most meat. So it's
on the top of the foot.
Yeah, so after you broke up pretty much all the toes.
Yep.
So
just get one more.
Pretty much the bottom of their foot. There's this little
the bottom.
pad. Yeah, the pad there. That's the most chewy consistency. That pretty much what you would get from.
I can feel because that's almost like.
But that's what you would consider the meat.
Really?
Yeah, that's where you're going to get the biggest bite.
Okay, so if you take a little close up of this is the bottom of the chicken's foot. Like I've snapped off the toes here, and that bit you can feel it's really squidgy. Like there's a big amount of meat there, and you kind of just chew that out, do you?
You can actually just put your mouth around it and just kind of
suck it and bite it,
pull it off, and it should come off.
Okie dokie, let's give that a try.
I really like this show. I want to be a weekly guest.
Wow.
On this show.
I'm enjoying this so much more. I think usually you go have this after you've already eaten like a full meal. This is like the second restaurant or the third restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'm more full and I'm like, really? Now we're going to go chew on chicken? Okay, let's go. But
it doesn't taste as good when you're not hungry, right? But now
this is actually pretty darn good. Yeah.
The chicken's feet.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm enjoying this more than I thought I would. Oh.
Yeah, so I just chewed off that little bit. So once you can get past the fact that this is a foot, it tastes good. Like you said, the sauce is delicious.
Yeah.
And so it's just a collagen texture with that sauce on. That's not bad at all. And I assume you just gnaw at everything and just see what you get.
And that's why it's considered, I think, a little bit of a crowd favorite for girls because you can order one of these, just one dish, and you can actually order a few bottles of soju. So it's easier on your wallet as well.
See, this lasts a long time as a side dish.
Because you're constantly chewing on it. You're constantly, dipping some of the bean sprouts and stuff like that into the sauce itself. So with the side dishes that come out with it too, it does tend to be a little bit easier when you're going out and having a few drinks or even dinner with your friends.
I can imagine it takes a long time to eat a whole bowl of these because each one you're kind of splitting up into pieces and whatnot. That's quite a good little tip as well. If you want to be watching your wallet and drinking a bit of soju, then these chicken feet could be for you. Like I said, you just have to get past, I think, the looks of this. Because it does look like a plate of claws, right? But yeah, the taste, and especially if you're not into the bones, just get them the deboned ones that we've had, the socks as you call them, Ryan. I like that name. Makes it sound nicer.
It works.
Chicken socks. They're good. They're really good. Like you said, they're kind of like that toe bit. And so you've also got some juice here, right? Which is quite common to serve with spicy foods.
I think I ate a little bit more than you guys.
Are you
did
feeling
there.
the spice?
And
it's really around my lips as well.
I like it, but yeah, I was gonna pop this open in case anybody wanted a little bit of.
Isaac, then for our foreign audience and even Koreans who are not too into chicken feet.
Okay.
What would you say to them about eating this when they're here in Korea?
If you go out, I'd say try the one that has the sauce first, because the consistency is a lot easier to get around.
It's not kind of tender.
Yeah, you're not sitting there gnawing at it like Peter was trying to do earlier.
It's difficult,
and it's difficult to do, and you feel like you're literally eating a toe, like Peter was saying. So what I suggest is try what is called 국물 닭발.
국물, okay.
Yeah, which is a lot easier to eat because it's been sitting in the sauce and constantly been on heat. It's a lot softer. It literally does fall off the bone.
Fantastic.
So what it does is you can kind of just, even if you have one of your Korean friends, they can kind of take all the bones out, and then you can just enjoy the sauce with, the
Right.
the skin on
the
top,
collagen,
the collagen
and the
in
skin
there.
all mixed in together. That seems like a good tip. And then maybe move on to the boneless.
Exactly.
And then when you're a hardcore chicken feet expert like Isaac, queen of chicken feet, go for the bones, and you feel that satisfaction snapping off the toes. Maybe that's some kind of stress relief, I feel.
It actually does. You broke it right. It came out the right
You
way.
pulled out a toe.
As I'm saying this, I know how wrong this sounds.
I got a good one.
Especially from a lady. It's fantastic. So we got loads of messages coming in. Let's see here. Hi, Isaac from Roz in the US saying, I'm so happy to see you live. I never get to hear your show due to the time difference, but I love to hear your bright, vibrant personality come through on the radio while snapping off chicken's toes. I added that last bit, but I'm sure she was thinking it. We've got a message from Aaron in the US saying, this is one of my favorite Yes Chef segments on #DailyK. When I first started discovering Korean food, chicken feet was one of the first foods that I discovered. I was also amazed at having DJ Isak on the show as a guest as well. We should do this more often. Let's just go on each other's shows.
Yeah.
Right? And do you have anything to eat on your show, though, Isak?
No.
Well, then I'm not coming. That's hardly fair,
I
is
think
it?
we need to make one, though. I can totally do that.
And let's just have Chef Ryan on every show.
I get to just sit over here and eat more when you're here. This is great.
I'm surprised at how much he eats while you're doing the segment.
We got a message here from Ali down in Korean saying, Takbal, I'm working, but you guys are all eating delicious chicken feet. I really like chicken feet. There are some Koreans who don't like it because it's also very spicy, right? I think that's the problem. I think Juhyun, our daily guest for K-Stream, she's not too good with really spicy food. So is there another way to have chicken's feet, like not spicy? I've never seen it.
Yeah, my poor sister. Poor sister. When we were in Mozambique, and they were.
They had a Korean chicken feet restaurant there.
They brought up, no, not Korean style, no, but they brought up all these soups. My sister had gone to wash her hands, and we just grabbed the foot out of the soup and put it right in her bowl. And she came back, sat down, and just freaked out.
Oh, no.
It was feet in the soup.
And these were chickens that we were like seeing on the back porch, that morning. And so she was like, ah! But, then later we would go to dim sum restaurants back in Texas, and that was the first time I ever tried chicken feet with all that caramelized sugar on the outside and soy.
Is it not spicy in that case?
Not as spicy, definitely, but really crunchy. That's really important. I'm glad you mentioned the other style because it is a lot easier to eat if it's the socks or if it's been cooked way down, and the bones get softer.
Yeah, it is a lot easier to eat.
Yeah, so I think in Korea it's hard to find non-spicy chicken foot, right?
I feel that it depends on where you're ordering it. Most of the 포장마차s, the bars, they want you to drink more, so they're going to be making it as spicy and as salty as possible.
I see.
But if you go to just for the delivery services, or maybe even just some of your local markets, or the outdoor markets, they do have places that make it a lot. They have, would you like it, level 1?
Yeah, super
level
spicy,
2,
blow
level
your
3,
head off spicy.
And they have a way to control the spiciness. So you can always, tone it down if you want to. But unfortunately, from what I've noticed, there's only, the red type, that has chicken, it just has pepper in there and it's just really spicy.
Even the least spicy has a little bit of a kick to it. But as we said earlier, it's quite common to have this kind of, peach juice, right? Which is absolutely delicious. I've seen this at the 닭갈비 places as well, the spicy chicken, not the feet part, the spicy rest of the chicken parts, and you'll drink this to kind of ward off the spice. It's good. We got a simple question from Fallen Angels for you, Isak.
Yes.
What do you prefer in the feet family, chicken or pigs?
Oh, you can't choose.
족발 or 닭발?
Wait, no, that's completely different. It's like asking, who do you like more, mom or dad? It's like there's things that mom can, soothe your soul with, and there's things that you can only tell dad.
So they're both equals.
Oh yeah. I think it depends on my mood. If I'm more hungry, I think I go for 족발, the pig feet, because it does have a lot more meat on it. When it comes to the chicken feet, I'd go for more of, it's normally when I binge watch dramas, that's like my go-to food.
Really? A chicken foot in front of the TV?
Exactly.
Sounds so romantic, doesn't it?
Some really dramatic scene happens and you snap off a toe.
Exactly.
Ross from the US has said, I've tried many foods from cow tongue and fish eyeballs to Cajun seasoned crickets, but chicken feet sounds a little daunting because we used to raise them as well. I know what chickens walk through. Don't tell us that. Please, Ross. They do wash the feet a lot, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's the same with 곱창 and all that here in Korea too. The culture is, the process of cleaning them is obviously quite nice.
Yes, they are completely clean. And I've eaten the bottom of a foot, so I'm going to forget that message from you, Ross.
You do boil. You wash them in salt, and then you boil them for 5. You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Absolutely. So, Isak, thank you so much for coming in today. Whenever you hear we've got a
lot of fun
ingredient that you like, just jump in the studio, okay?
Really? I can?
And when you play a good K-pop song I like, I'll jump in and dance with you, perhaps.
That would actually be a really good idea.
You're looking at me like I can't dance. You haven't seen my moves, okay? I can bust it out.
Okay. Then we'll put on, like a 17 or an EXO track, and then we'll see how many moves you got.
Absolutely. Or the pitam number. I love that one.
Oh, there we go. Some Pangtan there. There we go.
All right. Today, and Ryan, thank you so much for bringing this in. Unfortunately, we don't have time for what's in your fridge, so
I'll try to
them.
get to you guys with these on social media here in a bit, okay?
Okie dokie. Yeah. So just wrapping things up, we talked about 족발 and 닭발 today, and these dishes, they're famous for their collagen, really popular amongst the ladies here. And you can check this out on YouTube, on Arirang Radio's YouTube channel at a later date. And hashtag Daily K as a show, we air every single day from 9 till 11 a.m. on Arirang Radio. We'll catch you again soon.